I have a few hands up, so I'll go to them. Pratichaya, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. I'm very sorry that I will not be able to turn on my video because I'm on my safe driving mode on my phone. So my question is to the first speaker, Dr. Vamshi G, and the third speaker, Miss Neha Arora. Now, my first question to Vanshi ji is that, I don't know, I carry cane because my parents also forced me to. Otherwise, earlier I did not actually. So I feel so. See, in develop the problem with me is that I don't know why I'm so due to my finickiness. In developing countries, like ours, you see there is actually skins get very muddy and dusty, so you obviously you wouldn't keep wiping it off, so that actually puts me into hesitation as to why should I carry cane, and that kind of gets me very lazy. So how do I get rid of that habit. And also one question for you is that you mentioned about your travel to Sikkim and to some other places via few travel agencies. So, Mike, you traveled with non-disabled persons. So, like, obviously, though you have a cane, you need help for for navigation purpose, right? So how is it the responsibility of the travel agency to take care of all that? Because obviously people are chilling in their own ways. It's people's own choice whether they would want to help or not. How inclusive are people and how inclusive are such travel agencies? That is my question for you. And my question to Miss Neha Arora is that I was wanting to even get to you. I've heard a lot about you and Planet Abled, and how affordable are your travel packages? Because I really want to go on travels via your travel agency, and I also have your number since you were interviewed on Radio Udan once. So that's my question for you. And also, do you also plan to take persons with disabilities to Dubai on a travel? That's my question for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Pratiksha. So first I'll answer, I've been put two questions. I'll first answer the second question as to who will take care of us. You naturally need someone. It's not that you cannot do it all alone with a white cane, but it result in unnecessary waste of too much of time. So it's always better to have someone. How to have that someone, whether that person is sensitive or not. See, if someone, especially a travel company who has some experience with disabled people like Neha, the earlier bad travels or other tours, they naturally counsel people while they get to us. So people who come with tours, they will be aware of our blindness and they will be sensitive enough to take care of us. Number one. But here, Pratiksha, the more important thing is it's a combination of our white cane usage and their health. Whether we want to just have them for direction or whether we want to have them for some other purposes. I'll give you an example. When I went there, we were two blind people. Okay, the other blind person did not get his cane. So we went to a temple, a Buddhist temple, which had lot of steps, both up and
Yeah.
down. Right. So
Yes.
every time
Yes.
someone had to tell him, you have to get up, you have to get down. How many steps? 4 steps, 5 steps. Nahi nahi. मैंने 5 सोचा 6 थे actually. All this. Okay, but if you have a cane,
Yes.
naturally you will come to know whether there are steps or not, whether it is up or down, whether there is a next step or is it a flat surface. So how much you use the cane and do things for yourself will put the other sighted person that much at ease to help you out, and that makes him that much open and forthcoming to help you out. Okay, so it's a
Yes.
combination. It's a
Right.
combination.
Yes.
Number two, about the white cane muddiness and all. Yes, India, we are brought up in the mud and all. Unfortunately, there is no solution, but you can have a small bag kind of a thing. Fold the cane, put into that small bag, and then put in some other bag. Okay, that is one thing that you can always do. Okay. And
Yeah.
one thing,
Yes.
though I had experiences with Neha, though I never traveled with her, I spoke to her about a few trips. The beauty with these companies, especially Neha also, you can customize trips. No one dictates you to go to Switzerland or Rome or even in India to Pune or Goa. You can simply say, I want to Goa, I want to go to these beaches, I want to go to only night pubs, I want to go to only temples. So that's the advantage with Planet Able and other companies. Yeah, Neha, now you can take your question.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, Vamshi, and thanks, Praticha, for your question. So, the first, I'll answer your question. The first one, like how affordable. So, let me be very honest. This cost, like if you cannot really compare it to a budget trip that you see on a Make My Trip or any other online travel platform, because these trips are not something that okay, I just give a call to a local travel agent in that city, and they give the business to them and they will do it. These trips take a lot of time, money and effort to actually make it happen. So if I'm talking about a destination that I'll take you there, you can be 200% sure that I have been personally there, audited each and every place, all, and the hotel and the transport services and the guides, and given them training and sensitization. And then only once we are satisfied, then only you are going there. And this is like a destination development process that we do very exhaustively, because we need to make sure that there is not one point of error or bad experience that comes to you when you are on a holiday, because one bad word can just spoil the whole travel experience. I have lived it. Like I have had those fights, I have heard those comments that that happens around us. So taking care of each and everything uh, takes a bit of effort. So yes, the cost is a bit higher than what you would see on any online travel portal. And coming to Dubai, so yes, we always, like I mentioned, destination development process. So we always are in the process of adding new and new destinations by going there and developing them. So of course, we can organize that for you. Dubai, we haven't done it yet, so I won't say that I can take you there. But once COVID happened, I'll definitely make sure, because we have been getting a lot of inquiries. I'll definitely make sure that we develop that. So it's
Yeah. So later on, I can just get in touch with you also. Now I have your number. If in case I will message you beforehand and then get in touch with you now.
absolutely anytime.
Yes. Oh, so sure. So later on, after post COVID, if you organize a trip, I'll definitely go, because I mean I've heard a lot about Planet Able.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Praticha.
Yeah. Thank you,
Shruti,
sir. Bye. Then
bye,
I will.
bye.
Yeah, we'll take the next question from Sheikh Adnan. You can unmute yourself, please. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself.
You can press Alt A.
I think Shruti, you being a host, can also unmute him.
No, no, I have, but he has muted from his end.
I am audible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. My question is to the first speaker, Mr. Vamshi.
Yeah.
My question was that I want to now start using cane, as I have just a vision of around 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
So is it recommendable to use a smart cane, as we have many promotions, we get many promotions and ads for using smart cane? So is it sensible to directly jump to smart cane, or we can use a normal one?
Yeah. See, first of all, let me give in 10 seconds what a smart cane does.
Yeah.
Okay. You can use the cane. You can hold it in the center, tap it this direction, this way, that way, onto your right and left, move in a straight line. Whether there is a step, whether there is a ditch, it will tell you. Okay. It will tell you in the sense you can sense it.
Right.
This is white cane. The disadvantage with the white cane, or the limitation, is that, for example, there is a hanging branch, or there is a hoarding which is up, which is not, which doesn't have its presence on the ground, but it is a projection at the top at 5 feet.
Right.
Your cane will not tell you. You will straight away, your face will hit it. Okay. So that is a smart cane is a device which will be placed at the top fold of your white cane. So when you have something like that, it will vibrate. When you go closer, it will vibrate faster, so that you know that there is something. Then you will have to again sense it with, either with
है
your hand or cane.
डैडी जी
Okay,
नु
so
हैंड
that
रेज
is the
करियो
advantage of a smart. Okay, now I would recommend always start with a normal white cane. Okay, go the traditional way. Once you are comfortable with a white cane, then go for smart cane, because I tell you, when you start using a white cane for the first time, you will hold it as if you leave it, the entire world will collapse. इतना जोर से पकड़ते हैं हम, you will be sweating a lot, it will be a lot of concentration. Now, all sorts of things will be there in your mind. I don't want these vibrations to add to that confusion. So start with the white cane. Once you are comfortable, then use the smart cane.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Akanshi has a question. Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi. Yeah. So it's not really a question to anybody in specific, but I started using the white cane, or the cane, I would say, just a year back. And I've also been to trips and all with it, with my parents, of course. And I've seen the advantages and the disadvantages. My question, or rather a discussion point, is that in India especially, why do we have such limited options when it comes to the cane that visually impaired individuals use? So for example, when I looked up whether I should use a cane or not, because I was starting to use it at a very later age in my life, so I YouTubed it and all of that. So I came across this organization in the US which makes very many types of cane tips. So there are different types. While in India, I guess even the smart cane or the normal cane just has the pencil tip, which gets stuck in all sorts of cracks, which we have a lot in India. While in other countries, they have the marshmallow tip and the roller tip and all of these things. So why don't we have more diversity in the tips and also in the colors? I know that there is a specific reason white, so it's supposed to identify you as visually impaired. I guess the red stripes identify you as deaf blind. But I really think if we would conduct a survey, not many non-disabled individuals would know that the white cane is the cane that a visually impaired person uses, is supposed to be all white. And I in fact went ahead, because I am somebody who's very concerned about how I look and how I appear. And when I decided to use the cane, and I came across the fact that it will always have to be white, I was very concerned. What will I do the days when I'm not wearing white clothes or clothes that go with a white cane, right? So I actually got it, a black one from the US. I asked one of my cousins to get it for me, but it was a long process and it took a lot of time. So why don't we have more colors in it? For example, a black cane, or it will not affect the utility of the cane. It's just that maybe it affects the people's perception. However, I have been using my black cane as much as my white cane, and I haven't seen a difference at all, because the way the cane is held is very different. The way we tap or we sweep it is very different from a normal stick, that a walking stick that somebody with an orthopedic problem would use. So why not much more diversity in the cane in India especially? So maybe if any of the
Jyoti, can I answer this?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so it's a very pertinent two questions, Ankita, you asked. So the first is why we don't have the different kind of canes which is available in the developed world, the marshmallow tip, the rope, and so on. So one is we need to understand in India, largely, there are poverty is very high, and most of disabled people come from rural areas and from poor communities. So around 70% roughly, yeah. And for them to access a cane is a big challenge. Yeah, that's a big price. So highly in these kind of locations, the cane is also subsidized, and they get free of cost. So in many instances, that's one part of it. The other thing, yes, there should be. I'm also saying the marshmallow tip and the roller tip definitely will help. But having experienced both the worlds, the developed and traveled in India, I would say for Indian conditions, the marshmallow and the roller tip won't suffice, because the roller tip, I can only imagine that I can use it on the metro, the new metro stations. But from that, in other locations, definitely it will go bust. You can't, the stones and the terrain that we have, it won't withstand. I mean, it should come in. The second part, why is it in white color? It's very simple, because it has to. The reason why it's called white cane is it has to be visible to people, the public, at all times. So as you rightly said, in the night also it should be visible. So a black, if the cane is black, it's not visible. So that's the purpose. And the red color is is mainly for it to radiate. The bottom red color is for it to radiate in dark also. So that's the whole idea of it being in white.
So I'll just like to say something, because I have used both, and I know that this thing is also there in other countries. They had that standard that it needs to be white, but they are still making those. And I absolutely get your point that, not everybody can afford such things and such diversity. I mean, for them just to be able to afford a cane is enough, is of a problem, then to, add on the marketing and all over the other things. But maybe, people in India who are making canes, maybe we can have a company that actually also designs. Because see, I'm just speaking for myself. I am somebody who could afford a cane, any cane, like slightly higher priced cane, but it wasn't available to me, and that seriously affected my decision I delayed it to a great extent. And even for the tips, in fact, I have used the marshmallow tip, and I
There seems to be a network problem with Akankshi's.
Actually doesn't get stuck in in the past. I'm just saying that why can't we have a conversation about it? Why can't we have someone who makes these things? And at least I know all the people who are attending this webinar today, they have access to a laptop and to internet and to Zoom and all of these things. So I'm sure majority of those people can actually invest in a cane and different types. So maybe have a conversation.
I think Akankshi, I can answer you that. I can just give my input, whatever has been my experience. It's just that disabled people are not treated as paying consumers.
Yeah, exactly.
So they are not even seen as a lucrative business.
Yeah.
So that separation of disability from charity has to happen. That okay, there are consumers who can pay. There is a business, and they need services and products and avenues which are not available. So the market really don't see disabled people as consumers who are paying. So once that mindset changes, you have what you have.
Yeah, one is that, and I think also, I think there needs to be a greater social inclusion before this happens, because, like for example, if I was going to a party and if I had the option of matching my cane to the trousers I wear, that might be something that I might
go to a party for that.
Yeah, so there would be there'll be very few people who probably go to parties on a regular basis and so on, So, but I think, there is scope. There's no rule that we cannot come up with designer canes, and we never know. There might be people who want to buy it.
Yeah, I do. I would have bought many more colors if it was available in India, but it's not. So I am just stuck with my black and white.
We've already come up with designer masks. So I'm sure we can do things too. So I know Neha, you have to leave, and you have to leave in the next couple of minutes. I'm quickly going to bring up the question someone's asked on chat, asking about the affordability not being a problem with the scope of tourism at overseas, especially Europe. What are your experiences with that? And someone on Facebook has also asked if your company has separate packages for disabled or non-disabled or able-bodied travelers. So very quick, if you could.
Yeah. So the second question I'll ask first. It's quick.
Yeah.
So there is no difference in cost. It's all the same. Until and unless, like, you know, for a wheelchair user, they require a full-time carer for their daily activities. Then it is given as a supplement cost. But otherwise, if it's a group travel, so like, you know, if it's not a customized and if it's a group travel, so the cost for every traveler is the same, irrespective of they have whatever disability or no disability. And this first question was Shrikant. So it is like what he's asking is that the affordability of people in Europe, like they have affordability. That's the question. If I get it clearly.
No. The question is that affordability not being a problem. What is the scope of tourism at overseas, especially Europe? And what's your experience been with that?
Okay. So if you want to travel to Europe, it's a beautiful place. Like I think if I have to choose between US and Europe, I would, like, in one beat would go for Europe because of the kind of character the region has, and because of the history that it has. It has got beautiful structures, beautiful stories behind it, and there has been like in some places and destinations, there has been great efforts done to inculcate accessibility in various museums or at various places for people to visit, because there of course they have more awareness about accessibility and inclusion and treating people people with disabilities with equity. So there, you know, there are a lot of options, and I've even seen museums having a Picasso painting which is made accessible. They spent €10,000 to make it happen on that one painting. But yes, that was so fascinating to see it, and it would be amazing to, you know, for a blind person to actually go there. So they have, like, at some days, like for people who are sensitive, like for people with autism and dementia, they have separate hours also kept for them at the museums. So there are a lot of options if you want to explore. And if you if you are independent, then you will feel more independent and free while you're going in Europe. Like, it's amazing. I would definitely want you to go there.
And there's greater romance in Europe
no doubt
than
about
in
it.
the US.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Okay. In case you really, I know, Neha, you have to go, so we'll let you go and we'll continue the discussion.
Didn't get you. Your voice.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great talking to you. And I have written the email address because someone asked for my contact details. I've written the email address in the chat box, so you can reach out to me. I'm saying it also. You can reach out to us at travel@planetabled.com. TRAVEL@planetabLed.com. So thank you so much, and
Thanks, Neha, for joining. Yeah, thanks, Neha, for joining.
Pleasure, George.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll take the next question from Kanan. Kanan, can you unmute yourself?
Shruti, sorry, I also need to leave because I have another meeting.
All right, Praveen.
Yeah, so thanks everybody. Nice sharing experience, and all the best.
Yeah, thanks, Praveen.
Bye, George. Thank you.
So Vamshi, all questions at you now.
Yes, sir. With pleasure. With pleasure.
You can keep your cane ready.
Yeah.
Okay, Kanan, you have your question, please.
Yes, madam. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Actually, this is not a question. This is an appreciation to Enable India and George sir for organizing such a nice webinar on this day. See, I began to use white can at the age of 22. After that, really my life has changed, and I have traveled to so many places in our country. Now I am holding a good position in our insurance company, So mobility has changed the lives of so many hundreds of blind people. So we should not neglect it, and creating such awareness for mobility is very important. Highway has done it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kannan.
Thank you, sir.
Are you the same Kannan whom I met on science communication?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Science
Okay.
communication and web car owners.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kanan. Shantan?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good evening to all. Firstly, I want to share my experience, and I ask question.
Yeah.
Firstly, I was using Whitekin since I was studied at my class 10 board in Ramakrishna Mission Blind Boys Academy in Kolkata. Then after that, I was studying Bato Bhavan, and I was lived alone in my. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was using since my class 11, and I was travel independently since my class 11. The last year I was travel in Mumbai, attend a national seminar, organize organizing some NGO. I was checked into Kolkata airport, and someone assisted me, and they said, "You need wheelchair." I said, "No, I do not." And I think more sensitization are needed in our country. This is my first appeal to you, Eyeway and all. And my second question is that, Vamshi sir, my pleasure, I went Sikkim in 2015, and I also travel in Gurudambar with my white cane in 18,000 feet with my friends.
Wonderful.
And I was travel in before lockdown in Himachal through Whitecan and alone. It was very good experience, and I request to all the people in this webinar, use Whitecan and travel independently. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantan.
Okay. I'm going to read out a comment that was made by Sachin earlier while we were talking about strange experiences. He says it's funny when you're walking around the shops and you bump into somebody and they turn around with a look on their face that they're going to give you a round of verbal abuse. And they suddenly see the cane and go, "Oh, sorry, my fault. I mean, it's not like I'm doing it on purpose."
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, Gurbaksh. अनम्यूट करेंगे अपने आप को प्लीज, गुरबख्श। गुरबख्श, आप अपना सवाल पूछ सकते हैं। गुरबख्श, आपको अपने एंड से अनम्यूट करना होगा।
Alt A.
हेलो, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, सर, माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट डू वी while using white cane, do we need to rub the white cane on the floor, or do we need to hit it on the floor so as to take the guidance?
Guidance from others or from the cane? What are you?
No. From the cane.
Do we tap or do we drag?
See, that is, the way I was taught here. I should mention, I forgot it in my speech. I was taught white cane usage by Mitrajyoti NGO in Bangalore. Sundari Madam is my guru, so I place on record my deepest of the gratitude to her and the organization, Madhu Singhal Madam, everyone. See, the way I was taught, tap it to the left and right, but when you lift it, ensure the distance between the ground and the height to which you lift the cane is as minimal as possible, so that you don't miss any obstacle. Don't drag it. Just lift it, but at a very minimal height, and then tap it the other way.
Sir, will it decrease the speed or not?
I think, when compared to dragging, this will increase the speed because you don't need to push it, right? Since you are lifting it,
Okay.
it makes things that much easier. But
Okay, sir.
if I think George sir will better speak about these things. But just the basic techniques are hold it at the center, hold it in a pencil model where your palm is faced towards the opposite direction, not no. I think towards yourself. Yeah, towards yourself. Ensure that some distance is covered on either side of yours so that nothing is missed. Then just go ahead.
Yeah, and
Okay, sir.
to start with, the speed will be slow because your mind is not willing to take the chance. But once
Yeah.
you start trusting your cane, I think your speed will increase.
Okay, sir.
पहले 1-2 दिन में
Thank
थोड़े
you, sir.
केन्स हम तोड़ भी देंगे. हाँ, मार के जोर से मार के तोड़ भी देंगे. Fine, still fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Okay. Let me see if there are any more questions. Yeah. Vamshi, do you want to address that question of traveling abroad? If you have had any such experiences, because that question was marked to all of you.
Traveling experience I had only once with Rising Stars and Tours, where it was reasonably okay. I mean, see, as I said, I even went through the immigration, everything with the help of the assistance provided by the airways. So everything was good. But the only thing that people will find interesting when they go out is the language problem. In India, हम हमारा भाषा बोल के थोड़ा guidance ले सकते हैं, but when you go out, just be a little more cautious since you don't know the language, and even if some people they speak English, we can't understand their accent. But check out with the accessibility, check out with the guidance beforehand. I had a terrible experience. I went to Bangkok, Pattaya, and then I went to this the island which is very popular. I don't remember the beach where all these water sports happen. None of our disabled friends were even allowed into the sea, unfortunately. Though I was told some people had gone into the sea earlier, but that was a very terrible. I was deeply disappointed.
And why was that?
Coral Island, sir. Yeah. See, the reason, simple reason they said is, no, we can't take the risk of having blind people. Because the thing is that in this Coral Island 1-day trip, you will be taken in a small boat. Then from one small boat to other small boat, you have to walk on a plank and just go on to the other boat. They fear that with blind people, it is a bit risky. हमने बोला उनको कि क्या है, when other people are walking, we'll just hold their hand and walk into the other boat. And I know blind people who have done it in the earlier trips also. But unfortunately, that day it did not happen. And obviously, if it is a travel agency specializing in disabled, they should check it beforehand.
Okay. So we've taken up all the questions, George, so far.
Okay. So if there are no more questions, maybe we call it a day.
Yeah, and just George sir, I would like to mention something here.
Yeah, please.
See, often be it technology, be it anything, often we look for people who specialize in the area of disability. Yeah. But actually, if you explore, even the mainstream travel companies are also not very bad. Recently, I had been to Goa with a friend of mine. So there I explored a website called as travelhq.com. It's a Hong Kong based company, Travel HQ company, where you can choose your guide. The list of guides is available. Once you place your request, you will be allotted a manager. So that relationship manager will talk to the guide and coordinate everything. Naturally, see, you will pay something very little to the guide, especially when you are blind. You don't require much of assistance. You need someone to hold your hand. The person who acts as a guide can act as your escort also. With the help of these people, I even spoke to a couple of guides. They were very happy कि पहली बार हम blind लोगों के साथ ऐसा देख रहे हैं कि they are so forthcoming for travel. No problem, morning to evening we will take care of your disability need also. So even explore the mainstream travel companies also, and what we did in Goa is that we knew someone, so we booked a car. So car के साथ driver भी था हमारे साथ, and since we were two people, we told them we need one more person. So they charged very little minimum amount for per day इतना है. So 3 दिन के लिए हमने एक आदमी को भी book कर लिया. And since two blind people, we shared it between ourselves. It was a wonderful trip at a very affordable cost.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the critical thing I have learned during my travel is that a great amount of planning needs to be done.
Exactly.
So that every little need that you might have in the place you're going to is addressed. And and if you can do that, then the trip will go smoothly. So planning and making sure that every bit of your activity in that city you're going to is kind of taken care of, either with your own support, with your own skill, or with the support of somebody else.
Yeah, we even did kayaking also in the Goa in Palem Beach.
Yeah,
kayaking means a very small boat of hardly 5-6 feet long and 2 feet width. You cannot sit in the boat; you can sit on the boat, and you have to row the boat. So with the help of those two guides, we even went for kayaking. So that was a beautiful experience.
Great.
Okay, we have 2 more hands up. Quickly, I'll take it. Vamshi, if you'll allow that.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Nancy John, you have a question? Please go ahead. You'll have to unmute from your end.
Alt A. Press Alt A.
Nancy John, can you hear us? Please unmute from your end. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is my first experience of hearing about the White Cane Day, and it was very useful information. Thank you so much for all the speakers.
Okay, you have a question?
No, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Where are you calling from, Nancy John?
Sharp Memorial School for the Blind.
Oh, Dehradun. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sumana madam is with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sumanna.
Hi, George.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
You, I saw you even in the last session with Umang. You were there.
Umang, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll call and talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah. Shilpa Gupta, you have a question?
I think I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Very good evening to one and all. Just wanted to share one experience, right? It was absolutely fantastic listening to all the 3 speakers, and of course listening to the other experiences from Mr. George. Now, just want to share my experience. When Mr. Vamshi talked about, people not letting him having this kind of access into the sea adventure sport and, experience, right? Saying that, oh, hum risk nahi le sakte. So, I happen to be, I am working as an assistant professor in Delhi University, and this was like, we went out for a trip to Sattal, so there's a private property there, and there they help us, we camped there for 3 days, and then there were some activities like river crossing, Burma bridging, and rappelling. So we began with river crossing, and I failed in between. I just couldn't push my way forward, and when I was taken off the rope, I was like slightly maybe jittery. And then when I was walking along with one of my colleagues, right, so there was some kind of a misjudgment, and I happened to it was a small ditch, but I fell there. So next day when we went for rappelling, my colleagues were like, you don't do this. And there were like 32 students.
Wow.
Yeah, so 32 students and 7. No, I didn't hurt myself. It was just a minor toppling, nothing like that. But then what happened next day, I was not, they were like, go for rappelling, right? So I was waiting for my turn to come. I was sitting there for almost 4 hours, right? Waiting for 32 students and the other 5-6 faculty to get over with. And one of the senior most faculty said, Shilpa, you don't do this. And I was like, I've been sitting here for 4 hours and why have I come here? And then one of the instructors said, you hold my hand, I'm going to take you to the top of the mountain, this small hill mountain. And of course you can do it if the others can do it, right? And I did it, and I can't tell you how satisfying it was. It does a lot of good to your own self-esteem. And then, of course, the third day I went for Burma bridging. Again, I was in two minds because, you had just this one rope and you had to walk on that. And I could see students, not being able to do it. Sometimes, people were hanging on the ropes and I was like, whether I should do it or not. But a part of me wanted to do it. So finally, I was second last person to do it. And I was like, I want to do it. And the instructor said, okay, I'll come along with you on the rope and do it, right? So I did it, and when I returned to Delhi, I was so happy. It had done, wonders to my confidence, esteem, right? And then, same thing happened, 3 years, like after 3 years in 2016, we again went for the same trip, more or less the same faculty with some new people, new students, more or less the same instructors. Couple of them were same, some had changed. And then the same question, like river crossing, I did far better this time. I was able to complete it. Rappelling couldn't happen because of the rain. But when it came to Burma bridging, again, I was the last person, and somehow I was told that don't do it, because if you're not able to do it and you might just hurt yourself and stuff like that. And I was like, what is it? I've done it 3 years ago, and the other reason that was given to me was like, you might just, despite all the safety measures, you might hurt your backbone. Okay, I was like, don't give me this thing, because I can see, other students, heavier, with heavy body weights doing all these kind of things, and you're not letting me do this. And somehow then the instructor was like, fine, I'll come with you on the ropes and let's do it. And I did it. And I still remember two of my students coming up and saying, oh, if ma'am could do it, why didn't we do it? Right. So I think there is a lot of acceptance issue. People don't really expect you to do all these things. Right. And then, of course, they're also scared. I remember telling the instructor that, okay, MD sir, I want to do river rafting also. And because he organizes it near Haridwar, and he was like, I'm not sure how to go about it with you. And maybe I'll have to figure out the way how that can be made accessible to you. And then, of course, we never got in touch with each other. But, of course, thanks for organizing this session. Got to know a lot of things. So, obviously, looking forward to post-COVID world. And then probably I can explore some of the new possibilities through Planet Able and one of the other, that adventures beyond barriers in Pune. So, thank you so much. It was lovely listening to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So I think if there are no more questions, let's
we'll close. Yeah,
we'll close.
6 o'clock. Yeah. Thank you, Vamshi. It was lovely hearing your experiences. I loved reading your blogs when you went for your trip in 2018. But it was great listening to it live.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
And you put in a lot of interesting humor also into it. That was nice.
Yeah.
I think Jayant Singh Raghav did Jayant want to ask something?
He's basically used an applause sign. So
I thought he was practicing the Zoom commands.
No, but all in all, we've received very good comments even on Facebook. People have been very, they've received great input from you all. So thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Take care and all the best.
Fine, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, all of you, for logging in today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.